The sun was rising over the shed at Copley Hill, and the low mists were fading away into the shadows. "Something's different," Alan said, uncertainly. "Different?" Sir Ralph yawned. "Perhaps after your fright last night, you feel different?" Alan scowled. "I wasn't frightened." "You were so scared, you nearly dropped your plugs," Nigel grunted, winking at Herbert. "We all saw you jump." "Bah!" Alan said, blowing off steam. "I'm not scared of ghosts." But you were scared of Sir Ralph's whistle," said Herbert quietly. Stephen had already left the yard. He had taken charge of an early train to make his way back to Norwich Thorpe. Soon the engine shed was empty, and the yard was full of engines, ready for work. A new tank engine sat outside, simmering quietly. "Who's that?" Alan asked Sir Ralph. "This is Wensley," Sir Ralph said. "Geoffrey's failed, so he's shunting the yard for us." "Yes, indeed," the tank engine beamed. "Why," he said, coughing slightly, "I was built for the North Eastern Railway, but I missed a word till I was." Met with bursts of laughter from all around. All right, I give," the tank engine spluttered. Yes, I'm a copy. Built 1951, Darlington. No less a Wordstall design, mind, or do I have to fight you for that right?" "Not at all," Sir Ralph said, with a smile. "Hang on, you're younger than me." Alan was speechless. "And you are wondering, why build another batch of a 50-year-old design?" Wensley said. "Well, yes," Alan said. "If it ain't broke," Wensley laughed. "Besides, better the devil you know." "Oh yes," Sir Ralph replied. "It's a shame that. We're all going for diesels now." "They aren't all devils," Alan said, remembering Gronk. "Some of them are quite nice, actually." "Ah, yes, that be true, but they're all a bit puffed up in the smoke box, if you know what I mean," Wensley said with a wink. "Give the jobs to the real engines. That's what I say." Alan wasn't sure how to respond. Deltic's words still played on his mind. "Have you heard about the tank engine, chaps?" Wensley said, a big smile forming on his face. "Which one?" Alan asked. "The first preserved steam engine, of course," Wensley said, smiling. "His name is Alf. He's an old Great Northern Railway engine. Lovely fellow. I met him last week, and he wasn't half happy. He's been bought by a lovely gent, a captain of some form, so we've been calling him Captain Alf as a result. He's been pulling brake van rides for people and running all over the country." "What do you mean by preserved, dear chap?" Sir Ralph asked. "Well, Britannia rules the trains, but not him," Wensley said, and the rest of the engines gasped in wonder. "Not British Railway?" Nigel said with disbelief. "Never. Why would they sell a working engine?" "They didn't. He was going for scrap. He does mainline tours now. A bit of a Great Northern ghost in the system," Wensley joked. Sir Ralph was amazed. "A little tank engine doing mainline tours? He could have had something larger," he sniffed. "Maybe the point is, that was the engine he wanted," Alan said quietly. "Good for him. What's he like, Wensley?" "Well, he's a lovely fellow. He does have such fun with the specials now. His green coat shines with polish. He's always got enough coal and water, and he's well looked after." The engines were silent. "Sounds like heaven," Alan said quietly. "So I really am the last of my kind?" Stephen stared into the space between the running lines. He could see a few withdrawn steam engines rusting away, and grass starting to pop up between their wheels. "I'm sorry, Stephen," his driver said gently. Stephen closed his eyes. "I knew. I already knew. Seeing it firsthand makes it all the more real." "Stefan?" "It's Stephen, Harry," the old engine smiled. "Whatever. You've got some nerve telling me all this, you know. It's the truth, Harry. Already our classmates are lying up and down the country, withdrawn and being cut up. Bah, Harry said angrily. Being usurped for the standard engines and diesels, I know all of this. And the more we give up the ghost and be more like you, sanctimonious scrap engine you are, the more we'll disappear. That's simply not true, Stephen argued. Look around you. The withdrawn tank engines and even a cousin of ours, a Claude Hamilton, not long for this world. Why do you not admit your fate? To admit is to give up altogether, Harry snapped. Why do you insist on depressing me further? So you can be ready for the end when it comes. Pah! Stephen, let me tell you something, the older B-12 said, blowing a little steam from its leaking valves. The end? I've been ready for the end for years. They wore me out, rebuilt me, wore me out again, and insisted on running me into the ground since the war years. Harry's eyes were narrow and angry, but there was something different in them as he spoke. I've seen enough. The hospital trains. Young men on their way to die in either direction. I'd seen and done enough by the war's end. Stephen stayed silent. You and I. We reacted differently, Harry continued. Know this. You know what happened, and you were there. And you will remember me from this day forth. And you will never forget. So, he said, averting his gaze, leave me in peace, Stephen. You've had your say. Now, I want to rest. It was starting to get dark in the yard, and the two tank engines started to finish sorting the yard out. Geoffrey, the grumpy old tank engine who normally shunted the yard, was sitting by the carriage works. He had a damaged regulator, and he was looking very forlorn. Wouldn't surprise me if he were to go, you know, Wensley said. They're building up a small train of condensed stock there. A few vans, a truck, maybe even Geoffrey. It's the way of the world now, Wensley, Alan said sadly. A little later, and Wensley was ready to depart, with a brake van in tow. Thank you, Wensley, for sorting our shunting problems, Sir Ralph called out to them. Do you think you could take the scrap with you? Nigel grunted, as they all watched Geoffrey, protesting angrily, as two fitters climbed into his cab to remove the broken levers. At least Gronk kept the yard tidy, Alan said quietly. The tank engine whistled and departed. A nice engine, that, Sir Ralph remarked. Right, I must be off. Take care, friends. I shall see you anon. And with that, the A4 Pacific wished his way across the points to the junction and disappeared towards the station. Nigel soon followed, and the evening turned to dusk soon enough. Alan looked around. He was the only engine left in the shed. There was a hint of steam coming from the sidings, where a few withdrawn steam engines stood silently. There was a whistle, piercing and loud. Who's there? Alan called sharply. There was no reply. Was it Sir Ralph with his express in the distance? Alan looked around once more and closed his eyes.